Hi everyone, this is Air Angel and I'm going to be doing a marathon submission video for Twin Dragons. I'm going to talk about more of the lore during the game itself, but as you can see you could pick easy, normal, hard difficulty. I'm going to be selecting easy, as of right now the speedrun leaderboards don't have different categories for it, so all the runners pick easy to start. I definitely recommend, if you want to play this game casually, to start on easy mode. Trust me, it's not super easy, especially towards the end. So if you want just like sort of like a casual experience, I definitely recommend this, because normal is sort of like a normal NES game, which is incredibly difficult, which brings me to my first point, that Twin Dragons is an NES homebrew, so basically is programmed so you can play on your NES or Famicom. I'm currently playing with my EverDrive with the ROM that, when you buy it, it comes with the EXE program, so you could run it as a standalone program, or you can use the ROM for that purpose, so you can play on console. So I'm playing on the good old-fashioned brick controller, which is super fun. This was made from Broke Studios in France. It was like a Kickstarter passion project that did super well, and it came out in 2017. But yeah, I guess now we can talk about the lore. So this is Dinky the dragon. You didn't see much of the plot before because we skipped through all of that because we're speedrunning this game. But so basically, so this is called Twin Dragons, so we will be meeting another dragon that is Dinky's twin, named Minky, but the twin dragons live on top of the mountain with their parents, and they have a new sibling on the way. Their sibling is like in a egg, being ready to hatch soon. And when the parents went away, there was a sorcerer or something that came into their village and decided to steal the egg, aka their sibling, basically in order to like increase his power or something. It doesn't make any sense, but we have to go save our sibling that is in the dragon egg currently. And while that happened, the sorcerer took away like all of our powers, so like they took away like our dragon wings, and both Dinky and Minky sort of have like a superpower, a super dragon power, I guess. So as you can tell right now, I can shoot fireballs. And by the way, this is going to be the first boss. There's a boss with every level, and we'll talk about more about that later, but so that was super easy. One down. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Dinky. So you'll see that I'm collecting all these peppers. So these peppers is sort of like, I guess, almost in most retro games, if you collect 100 of them, you get an extra life. You start off with 3 lives, and then if you get 100, you get an extra one. And earlier, I did pick up, it looked like a token of, like, Dinky's face, and that's an extra 1-up. But these red peppers right here give us our superpower back, and basically, if you hold up and fire, or shoot the Dragon Ball, I guess, or the Fireball, whatever we want to call it today, it makes an even bigger fireball, and it deals more damage, and it has a bigger hitbox, which is super beneficial for runners in general, but you'll see why in the later levels specifically. Because levels become incredibly more difficult to speedrun when you don't have this super ability. And also, if you die, you lose this super ability. But you have to just find another red pepper to get it back, obviously, but yeah, it's not great. But so those are the basic game mechanics for right now. We'll talk about more of the different ones later as we get them. There are little monsters that can also breathe fire and ice as well. Did not mean to do that. I absolutely love the animations. Sorry, I'm laughing at myself because the animations are really good. But here's sort of an example of like the really big fireball. As you can tell, it's super useful, and instead of like, it would take me 3 or 4 of the regular fireball hits to defeat that little monster guy. I'm gonna wait here for a little second. So there are ice physics in this game, and that section right there had ice on it, so I sometimes fall off it if I'm not too careful, so... alright. And every section is sort of different. Throwback to like a traditional NES game. Like there's gonna be hills, mountains, there's gonna be a water level, there's gonna be a sky level, there's gonna be a tower level. So it's super nostalgic, but I think it basically has all of the best things from retro games. So it has really good music, it has really fun sprites. There is at one point, I will probably get to it depending, where it shows like a little bit of lag because of there's so many sprites on the screen, which is super funny and like a big throwback. Right there is sort of one of the only skips that I currently know of. So typically you'd have to go all the way to the right, where there's like the save flag, I guess you can say. The save point, but we just skip all that and we just go this way. One thing to note, I tend to be careful around anything that has like ice shooting abilities because they can shoot you in the air and you'll be frozen in the air and then you're sort of stuck and then you just fall, which is unfortunate. So this is the second boss. This is pretty easy. One thing that makes easy mode fun, I guess for me, is it makes the bosses of each level a lot easier to defeat than normal mode. So normal mode for me took me a couple hours, and yeah, it is like a normal NES game in my opinion. I have not ventured onto hard mode, and I don't know if I will, but maybe. But in terms of like, so I'm the type of casual gamer that really wants to know what happens in the story. So like, I want to play the game, obviously, but like, I don't want to get stuck for a million hours on something because I want to know what happens. You know what I mean? So I'm really, I always start on easy. I always joke I'm a baby gamer, but that's just because I don't like getting stuck on things. I want to like see what happens next, but it is also good for accessibility, especially if people just want to play the game in general and don't want to be frustrated like that. So shout out to the developers for putting easy mode on here. I super appreciate it. But anyways, welcome to the water level. These little spiky dudes turn into like a giant, even bigger spiky dude. I would say the water mechanics in this game are actually not bad. They're actually pretty fair, which is pretty startling to say about, I guess, any game, because usually ice and water mechanics in any game are just really frustrating. But I actually don't mind the water mechanics here, so just like the fluid motion of the sprite. And the sprite is so cute, look. So these jellyfish are a pain in the butt. I tend to shoot them if I can, just because sometimes I forget where they are, and they could also shoot you from off screen. So as you saw there, if the, I guess projectile, I guess is a good word for it, goes off the screen, it will follow you and it will hit you, so that's not good. And sometimes, you know, you forget where they are, and then it's just like, oh, I just got shot in the back, great. But yeah, and I also just really enjoy this. I wouldn't say it's minimalist, but I really like the color palettes of this game overall. It's really nice. And they're all different. All the level sets have sort of like a different vibe to it. And I absolutely love the music so much in this one. I could probably listen to it all day. So I'm gonna be careful because... So those little crabs can like jump up and bonk you, but we're okay. And I also really like the flagpole because, again, it's just like a huge nostalgia trip for me. Mario, Donkey Kong Country, and all those games had like the flagpoles when you finish the level. As you can tell, I still have my... You carry your special abilities throughout the levels. So since we picked up the red chili pepper before, we still have it this level. And apparently fireballs, or at least like the super ability ones. I mean, both of them work, but either way, fire works underwater in this game. So don't ask gaming physics. It just happens. That's what we're here for. We're just vibing. Am I gonna get this? Yeah, sure. So the big thing for me in learning this game and learning this run in general is when to take damage and when to not take damage. Basically, you want to take enough damage because like you can just like swim through stuff or like walk through things if you don't, you know, necessarily have to shoot them. But also you have to like not die. So for me, it's a big balancing game of health and not tanking damage. Anyone that has watched any of my speedruns and knows me as a gamer knows I just take damage constantly. So, alright, so I sort of had to be a little careful here, but I think we should be okay. Just gonna get rid of, yep. I think we're towards the end of it. Yeah, we're good. We just have to be very careful. So I'm gonna wait for the spiky boy to not be spiky, and yep. And then be careful of the crab. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. We did it. It's fine. So I have been playing this game for a couple weeks. I haven't really been timing it. The first time I timed it, as you can see, my first timed attempt on this was 42 minutes, but I've been practicing it a good bit more, so the rainbows on the screen are sort of expected. One thing about this game, obviously, sorry I didn't warn you like right before it happened, but flash warning during... It only really happens on the some boss fights, not all of the boss fights. Honestly, if that was the only thing about this game that I don't like, that would be it. Alright, so we are now Minky. We are Dinky's sister, and she is so cute. She has a little bow, and yeah, basically, so Dinky is now, I believe, he's at the tower, and so now Minky has to go meet him there. So Dinky has the red peppers, and Minky has a popsicle stick. So Minky's special ability is like an ice superpower, which is incredibly helpful, and she will also get another power later on, which is also going to be very key and helpful. One big thing to note, if you freeze an enemy, you can walk through them without taking damage, which is super nice. You don't have to go through them at all. Oh, I guess I should mention, even after you you know, hit the flag and it does a little animation for the next level, you can still die. Obviously you saw me, I got frozen, but yeah, you can still die, it's like really interesting because you just think you have iframes because you got there, but I've died before. Like waiting for the animation to stop. It's pretty funny. No, spikes. Spikes are hard. But yeah, the main thing with Minky, again, is shooting the ice. Well, first of all, this turtle has to look at you in order to evade it. I'm trying not to take too much damage in this level because sometimes I take too much damage and I die. So I am trying to be cognizant of that because this is a marathon run for all intents and purposes. Alright, we're good. Especially in this next level coming up, there's gonna be projectiles everywhere. I would say this is sort of where the game ramps up in difficulty on any setting, whether it's easy, normal, or hard mode. The platforming is a little bit more difficult. A good thing about this game is that if you game over, you just have to start over the world. So not the entire game, which is super, super nice if you want to play this game casually. because I originally played this on normal mode casually, and it was very, very, very hard. I think the normal mode, again, is very on par with sort of like a traditional NES game, so it was pretty difficult, which is good. You also get sort of the bang for your buck. I would say the main differences between easy and normal mode, and probably hard mode, is I believe the enemies can take more damage, and the boss fights are a lot more difficult. So far we've been able to defeat all of like the level bosses pretty easily. But on normal mode, that is definitely not the case. For this one, we're just gonna go up and... I got a little bit too close. I probably should have stayed a little bit to the left, but we're good. We're fine. And also, on normal mode, you only get 3 hearts, or 3 lives, as opposed to 5. Or, I guess it would just be, like, health points. So... I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but 5 instead of 3 is huge, especially for this game. Okay, so we are in the castle. Again, super, super nostalgic. We've got lava, we got spikes, we have ghosties, we have flying phantom things that they freeze you and then they throw fireballs at you, so they're not very nice. I think, am I gonna grab this heart? Sure. And we have sort of like these moving platforms that makes things rather difficult. So Minky, obviously we don't really have a choice. At this point we can't go between the 2 dragons just yet, but having Minky for this particular level and a couple levels from now is super nice, because all you have to do is freeze the enemy and walk through them, as opposed to having to, you know, shoot the fireball a couple times. Even Dinky's fireball move, you have to shoot those little, I guess I'll just call them phantoms, a couple times in order for them to die. So it's just really nice to freeze them and, you know, move on. So this particular level has spikes in the most random places, but in the most dangerous places too. So they had spikes there on either side of the platforms. I have definitely gotten hit just because I wouldn't say lazy, but not cognizant of where I was like jumping and landing and stuff. And during my first playthrough, I was, alright, we got frozen at the same time. During my first playthrough, I was just like, how did I take that much damage? And then I went back and I was like, oh, all those spikes, go figure, you know? But yeah, again, if you get frozen here, okay, if you get frozen there and you fall in the lava, you die and you have to go to either the checkpoint or the beginning of the level. Each, I guess, well, I'll just call it a world. Each world has 3 levels, or 3 sections, and a final boss. Again, pretty traditional for like a NES game, actually. Alright, so that that wasn't smart. I should have gotten rid of the phantom, but that's okay. Wow, first death. That's actually pretty good. So platforming in this game is, I would say, I guess fair is the good word for it, because the hitboxes for the characters are pretty good. Like, again, fairness. It's not like a phantom hitbox kind of thing where it's just like, hey, I shouldn't have got hit. I shouldn't gotten, like, you know, hit there or whatever. And that was an extra life, so I just gained the life that I lost. Which again, so like having the fair hitboxes is, I guess, also alludes to like, it's like the best things of the NES games, but without a little bit of the jankiness of rogue hitboxes, or like for your character as well as your enemies. I guess I'm just gonna pick this up. Also to note, so some of these setups are a little bit easier if you take a certain path. Like, I choose to take the high road here, so I know where the phantom is, And when the Phantom shoots down, it's a lot harder to evade than going. Oh my gosh. Sorry, these animations are really cool when you get hit. Not saying getting hit is a good thing, but I just think it's funny. Alright, so Caterkiller, you not only have fireballs like coming out of the ground, but it also has fireballs coming after you, so you gotta... Well, I said you gotta jump and I didn't jump, but that's okay. You just kind of have to do that. It's not... You can freeze the enemies, but they sort of have like these iframes, and it takes longer. So Minky's gonna get another power-up or like special ability back, and that is her wings. So we can fly now. So Minky can fly. And now we're onto the sky level. I would also say that the sky level is, again, pretty fair, and I totally forgot that since I died, I don't have my superpower, so this is gonna make this level a little bit more difficult, but that's okay. So basically, if I did have my popsicle, aka my freeze power, I guess, I could just freeze these enemies, these little fairy bird things. I don't know what you would call them. They're sort of little bit of everything. You would just freeze them and like go through them, but since I don't have that, I actually genuinely need to be careful. And then you have lightning bolts coming from the sky, and there's just a lot happening. Okay, so there's a phantom guy right there. There should be a popsicle coming up though. Yep, alright. Actually, I think... Am I just gonna die and start from the checkpoint? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Taking the leap, as it were. So in a lot of the levels, yep, alright. I tried. In a lot of the levels, there's gonna be a popsicle, right next to the checkpoint, which is super nice, or right next to the beginning of the level, so, it didn't show up on the last one, but I think it was just because I died after it. Or there wasn't one in the level, maybe? I don't know. I don't remember. Anyways, we have our popsicle back, so life is good. Didn't lose too much time, so... This is actually a pretty solid run. I think this is only the second time I've died. That's one big thing about this game for me, is that I'd like to refer myself as a tank gamer. Like, I just run into things and I don't really pay attention to my health that well. So that is one thing I'm working on. And I guess with that, you also have to be careful about the lives that you spend, obviously. But I spend a little bit more time, like, getting more lives, so, like, as I progress in my optimization of my own route, I'm going to use those less and less, hopefully. But yeah, only starting with 3 lives, especially playing this casually, can really hurt. So I definitely recommend picking up the peppers and trying to get to 100. I think it's like once every 2 or 3 levels I got 100 peppers in my casual playthrough. Especially on normal mode, I like picked up everything. I picked up all of the peppers. You stay over there. See, you saw that? So you can die and get hit after you got the checkpoint flag, so don't die. Luckily I had a couple hearts. And I wouldn't say obviously, but when you start the new level, it gives you more, like it refills your health, which is really nice. So yeah, you don't really have to worry about that. I really dig this cloud animation. This level design is pretty like simplistic, but it's still pretty challenging, especially if you're not paying attention to where the lightning bolt's going, you know, or getting spiked in the face like that. Yeah, and the big hearts right there, yeah, I'll get it, refills your health. And I'm not actually 100% certain on this. I want to say that easy mode gives you more... Bully. I think easy mode gives you more chances to pick up big hearts, but I don't really remember. Alright, so this boss is a little bit more tricky. Light flash warning. Sorry, I should have said that sooner. Just because there's spikes everywhere, but I feel like I can just rest here and maybe not. So usually I'm able to get the quick kill. That actually wasn't too bad, but if you hit the enemy a couple times and you just sort of rest on the spikes, you take damage, but there's enough iframes for you to not worry about it. Okay, so at the tower, we skipped the cutscene where this happens, but Dinky and Minky are now united, so now we can use both of them. I am gonna switch. So Dinky can swim, Minky cannot. Minky can fly, but Dinky cannot. So basically, anytime that there's a water section, we have to switch to Dinky. There's a flying section, we switch to Minky, and so on and so forth. Since we switched, or like there's a period of time where we didn't play as Dinky, we no longer have the spicy pepper, and we have to get it. That was one thing that I found strange. It's like, we had the spicy pepper throughout, like the levels and stuff, but luckily there's one right here, so it's not like you have to wait super long time to get one. These piranhas are bullies. But yeah, luckily they give you one pretty much right away, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I guess Dinky just like no longer has super spiciness. Yeah, so the big thing obviously are the jellyfish that I am currently getting bullied by. And when you jump up out of the water, there are also spikes everywhere, so we also have to sort of be careful of that. And so Dinky and Minky have different health point health bars, I guess. So like Dinky only has 1 heart and Minky has 5 hearts currently. So like if later on when we go to like the boss battle and stuff, when you switch between the two, I always like make sure I have enough life in at least one of them, so I know that like if I have to take damage, I can just do that. Or like if I'm about to die with one of them, I'll switch over to the other. So yeah, in this level we'll primarily use Minky for these flying sections. You can walk and you can jump here, but it is faster to fly, so... And also, again, I find that the freezing capability is a lot faster than just trying to shoot my way through with the giant fireball, so that also helps. Because with the giant fireball, again, it takes like 1 or 2, or maybe 2 or 3 hits on some of the enemies, just depends on what enemies... I know there's a couple that are just one-shots, but there's a couple that are like 2 or 3. So those, it looks like a green emerald of sorts. Those shoot out lightning bolts. So there's a lightning bolt mechanic in this as well. I'm gonna get this for safety. I mainly get it for safety because of these spikes. Sometimes I don't pay attention to my own hitbox, you know? So yeah, if these phantoms freeze you, they'll hit you with a fireball. So when you get frozen, you don't take damage, but you will take damage when they hit you with the fireball. That wasn't too bad. So this is like the scariest part of the game. I know most of this game has just been really cute, but this is actually genuinely terrifying to me. Like, mostly because of this music. So you can go between the dragons. Dinky deals the most damage here, but obviously if he's up there, I should have changed to Minky, but that's okay. You have to change dragons in order to reach the sorcerer. But like, even though this song is scary, it's still such a bop. I remember when I first played this on stream, I like couldn't get over it, how good it was. I was like, this is still scary, but it's really good. Right. And it is RNG where the sorcerer goes to, so the sorcerer could just like end up like right on top of you or just like floating up in the air. So we're just chugging along here. So this is the last section. We have a couple of levels before the final boss. So yeah, more spikes. Spikes are not your friend. And also, these phantoms are kind of rude. Huh. So in order to change characters, you have to press down twice, so Minky has to be on the ground in order to change to Dinky. I didn't realize that there was a sign that taught you how to do that, and it's also, there's like in the directions like how to do it, and I just trialed and errored and tried to figure out how to do it. So that's how you do that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't change between the dragons, why? And it's just like, well, the sign, if you bothered to read the sign, taught you how to do it. Silly gamer moment, you know. But yeah, so we're going between Dinky and Minky again, and a lot of reoccurring baddies are showing up. But this section isn't bad. In the casual playthrough, when I first played it, it was definitely a lot more difficult because you didn't know like where, like what was happening, and oh my gosh, everything is shooting stuff at you, and yeah. Alright, so this part has more lightning bolts. If you just cruise through this, you basically miss most of the lightning bolts, but if you take your time and like get the peppers and stuff, it is pretty punishing. I should probably just go for it. And I really like how they sort of mixed a little bit of everything in the last levels, because it just sort of brings everything full circle, which is kind of nice. I definitely think one of the main skills of this as well is like knowing when to switch and switching quickly between Dinky and Minky, which is definitely something I'm going to practice in the future. I am almost dead. I am almost dead. There's lightning bolt and I'm almost dead. I don't remember where the checkpoint is here. So I'm gonna try to not die, folks. And oh my goodness, we're gonna run, just run. Oh, okay. Well, I tried. It's okay. And there's also a popsicle coming up, so that's not bad. A lot of times it kind of stinks when you don't know where your next power-up is, but I saw one on the way over here. These little bullies, little flying bullies. But yeah, the game, I don't know, I definitely think the game encourages speedrunners. Because it's like, if you play the game faster, I don't know, maybe that's with a lot of retro games too. I play a lot of Famicom and Super Famicom games, and as well as like Game Boy and handheld stuff, and it's like, the game is exponentially faster if you just go for it. Alright, so this is the final boss, lightning flash warning, light flash warning. I said it that time. I'm sorry if anyone's watching this and I didn't say it before. So you have to... So our sibling is like the egg, so we are trying to get the egg back, which is like, it was like in that stone thing that we were just trying to shoot. So we have to go between Dinky and Minky because the sorcerer is above water or goo, water goo, I don't know, green water, not good water. Oh, that's not good. So basically, I know that these little lightning bolts are going to be coming back, which isn't great for me, but it's okay. We have enough lives. So you have to shoot both of these little crystal things, and there's one final like mini phase. And time, that's it. So that was Twin Dragons. We saved our sibling, and we're back home, and it looks like they're hatching, and so we saved them just in time. So yeah, I just wanted to thank anyone that's watching this, and I hope you really enjoyed this game. I think I picked up this game for I think it was €8, so like $9 or $10 US. For the digital version, so if you want that, you can go to Broke's. I think Broke Studios has their own website, and you can also buy a physical cart, which I haven't done yet, but I probably will at this point. But anyways, that's it for me, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day, week, month, year, forever. Enjoy the jams.